Hello, I'm going to show you how to set up the development environment for the Android Nextcloud project. The first thing you will definitely need is Android Studio. Android Studio is the development environment for Android apps, and it has not only the ability to read Kotlin, Java, and XML, which are the main languages you'll be working with for Android apps, but it also has some integrated Android phone emulators so that you can test your code as you're writing it. It'll allow you to build and run an app on one of those emulated Pixel devices inside your development environment, which is really important for building an Android app like this, allowing you to see your UI as you're making it and such. So this app is definitely a must if you're going to be developing any sort of Android app. So I'd highly recommend this one. GitHub Desktop is also really important. It's not technically necessary, as you can do GitHub managing without it if you know what you're doing. However, if you are new to GitHub, I'd highly recommend it for helping streamline the commit process to your GitHub repository when you set that up. And then there's our own GitHub page. Now, these are the only two apps you're going to need for development, fortunately, because developing on Android is pretty straightforward and streamlined, so you really only need Android Studio. GitHub Desktop is just for the version control and to help collaborate on the project. Now, once you have that set up, all you have to do is visit our project GitHub. It'll first put you on the master branch, but the branch that is the most updated with all of our most recent changes is called Ralph 7 Merged. You're going to want to be on that branch before you fork from our code if you want to get all of our most recent updates to the app. And then once you're on Ralph 7 Merged, that branch specifically, all you have to do is hit code, local, and then assuming you have GitHub Desktop installed, you can hit open with GitHub Desktop. And it'll automatically open GitHub Desktop with the repo that you need in order to make sure that everything will be installed onto your local machine. Now, I'm not going to do this, but all you have to do is hit the blue clone button, and then it'll clone our project onto your local machine, and you can start working from there. Now, whether you want to work on directly from here or fork this onto your own repository, I'd highly recommend forking this onto your own repository instead of working off of our base here. But that's how you get the code into a project which you can start editing. I'm not going to clone this because it will then install it, and I already have it installed because I've been working on it on this computer, so I can just open it like this. This is where it'll put you once you finish cloning. It'll do a whole install process with a progress bar. And once you're here, all you have to do is click open in Android Studio, and it'll open the project in the development environment. If you don't see this button, or it doesn't say Android Studio, you can go to File, Options, Integrations, and change this external editor to Android Studio from whatever it might have been. And then once you do that, you can just click the Open in Android Studio button, and it takes you right into the project. And from here, you can develop your app however you need to, and you'll be able to run it over here, in which it'll launch in one of the emulated devices, which you can find here. If you need a new emulated device, or if you want to test on a tablet or something, you can just create device and pick whatever you need, and it'll set up the emulator for you. That's mostly it. From this point on, it's working on understanding the Android code structure and stuff, but as far as the development environment itself goes, that's all you need to get ready and running. It's super nice working on Android because you really only need the one app, so you don't need a second emulation app or anything. It's all in here. Everything is all in this app. And there's a example emulator with the app installed on it. Anyway, hope this helps you get set up for development whenever you need to, and good luck with your development process.